Hello and welcome to Bible Quest Tuesday edition. Drew DeGrotto is not with us today, so I'm hosting. My name is Scott Smelter, and I'm with Joshua Halb.
Hey,
And we're going to be talking today about something that Joshua brought up that I think is a really good topic. Joshua, what are we going to talk about today?
today we're going to talk about being godly and including godliness as being honest, being real, being a person of integrity in a world that is full of fake.
I love
Um,
this topic. So let's begin with the second half of that. Well, I think it's kind of obvious, but help people think about this. What do you mean in a world that is fake?
yeah, so I think when I was thinking about this earlier today, my mind went to social media. And just the other day, I was on social media, and this happens like all the time. But I was someone sent me a post that I thought was something that happened recently, so I sent to other people. But it turns out it was a post from a long, long time from months ago, and I had to apologize and say sorry. That was fake. That was from a while ago. Or I think about and maybe more along the lines of what we're going to talk about today. I think of things that have been photoshopped, that have been edited, people lying, people spreading falsehood, um, people who are comparing themselves to things like filters and AI generation, and just man, I did, not a day goes by that I don't get on social media that I see something that I have to tell myself is not true, it's not real,
So we were
and
we were at the Gettysburg battlefield the other day, and up there on in Devil's Den, there's a very very famous photo that's supposed to be a Confederate sharpshooter behind some rocks, dead after the battle, but it explains on the plaque that it was probably staged. If I remember correctly, maybe it's not a sharpshooter's rifle. They said this is an infantryman, apparently, that had probably died some distance away. That William Brady, the Civil War photographer, brought his body over and laid there and leaned his gun up and to portray a sharpshooter when that wasn't the case. So fake news has been around for a long time. But a bigger problem is
mm-hmm.
like what you said with social media, is not just fake news, but fake people.
Yeah.
So why? I'll start with this, and I want you to describe what you see, especially on how people do social media that
Mm-hmm.
falls in line with the statement I'm about to make. Joseph Kennedy was a very bad man who was determined to rise in politics. He was rising in politics. He became the ambassador of the United States to England. And then Hitler came on the scene or was on the scene, and Joseph Kennedy kind of torpedoed his personal ambitions by favoring Hitler and wanting Roosevelt to fund Hitler. So that didn't turn out real well for him. In retrospect, that that was kind of a bad play. So his chances were out, but he made it his business to see that his son succeeded in
Uh-huh.
politics. And there's a book called The Last Brother, written by a fan of Robert Kennedy, one of his sons, RFK Jr.'s father, Boston Globe reporter, but very eye-opening about the Kennedy family in general. And here's what Joseph Kennedy said to his sons. Joseph Kennedy had been in the Hollywood movie making business, had all sorts of women that he was carrying on with out there. But when he got into politics, at that time in Roman Catholic Massachusetts, to be successful in politics, he needed to have the appearance
Mm-hmm.
of being a family man. So he went back to Massachusetts. He left all his, whether call girls or starlets behind, went back to whatever extent, went back to Massachusetts and made a deal with his wife. She was to let him impregnate her so that the public would see that they had a child and it would look like
Wow.
a normal family. And for her part, she demanded, I get all the money I want and I get to do anything I want. He agreed. She got pregnant, and that's where Ted Kennedy came from. This was Joseph Kennedy's advice to his children from the book, The Last Brother. It doesn't matter who you are. It only matters who people think you are.
I,
Now,
I, I I have heard that quote before. That's
we can
all.
see that all over the place in politics, but I want you to take us through
Yeah.
not the political world, social media, churches, old people, young people.
Mm-hmm.
How much is that idea prevalent today?
Oh yeah. I mean, I see it all the time on social media where you have the people who are posting all these happy things about themselves. Look at the things that I got to do today. Look at this awesome vacation that I'm going on. Yeah, yeah. And I think even some people are posting things that are of spiritual matters and saying, not they're not saying that, oh, look how spiritual I am, but they're trying to have the appearance of, I'm really diving into God's word today. Look at all the studies that I'm doing right now. Read this awesome thing that I just wrote about the Lord, and really just trying to look good. Um, but then you look at their lives and you think, are you really actually doing this? Are you just doing this to look good on social media? And so people are really trying to make themselves feel better about themselves by posting a lot of things on social media instead of actually living out what God has called them to.
So if I have a friend of mine, so I've got some friends, they've been taking some vacations to some interesting places, and I enjoy seeing the pictures. If they're
Mm-hmm.
in Switzerland, I want to see a picture of Switzerland. If they're in the Rockies, I want to see the picture of the Rockies. I enjoy that. You don't want, boastfulness and bragging, but it rejoice with them that rejoice.
Mm-hmm.
I hear about people like standing in front of a giant poster of the Eiffel Tower. If
Yeah,
they're at the
yeah, yeah.
mall or something, or a photograph studio, and they have a picture taken themselves standing in front of the Eiffel Tower, and then they post on social media about how they're enjoying their time in Paris. And they're not in Paris. I know some of the influencers. There are, maybe in other places, but out west, California or Nevada or somewhere, there's a section that looks just like the interior of a private jet.
Ooh,
It's just
gotcha.
in a room, but it's a cutaway. It might have been a movie prop or something.
Mm-hmm.
And for so many $100 an hour, you can have studio shoots there. And so you you get on your whatever image clothes you're wanting to do and everything. You're sitting there with whoever, and there you are on your private jet going to Paris or wherever
Mm-hmm.
you're going, and you're not.
Yeah.
You're paying to sit in a fake plane for a fake picture to give a
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh yeah. And I think about uh, when we get on social media, it's probably a good thing not to post all the horrible things going on in your life on social media. Um, but the downside to not posting real things like, hey, this is just my honest life, is it gives off the appearance of your life is so great. And then when people who are experiencing real things in their life that are difficult see your ideal happy life, the good things you want to share with people, it creates this sense of my life is falling apart, and this sense of uh, why is everybody else doing so great when I'm not? And there's this real sense of social media uh, is this idealized world that creates a lot of problems for the average person.
Yeah. It's kind of like in photographs, they say, oh, which is your best side?
Yeah, right.
I don't know that I got a best side, but some people, oh, this is my best side. No, no, this is my best side. So I don't want to show them my worst side. And there's a little bit something natural about that. Before we started this webcast, for what it was worth, I fixed my hair a little bit because it was standing up crazy. Well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
there's something different
Yes.
in, you know, wanting to shave or get a shower or put on a nice shirt or something and projecting an image that's not really real. Even if this particular thing is, because I've seen people that their marriage is a shambles. And, the week before, they're talking about getting a divorce and everything. And then the next week, and then it's in shambles in again in the next week. And it's just like,
Hmm.
if you're only looking at the social media, why is it that people crave approval on social media? That's maybe a good question.
Oh man, it's probably the same reason why people crave approval in general. They want people to like them. They want to look great. They want to look good. Um, people, the more likes you get, the more popular you are, the more people like you, the more it kind of feeds your self-image. And it's kind of a misplaced, it's a misplaced, uh, I'm failing to think of the word, but it's a misplaced avenue of,
Evaluation, presentation of yourself.
yeah, yeah. And you put your self-worth in that, your value, instead of in something that's more concrete, you put it in how many likes can I get?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and that leads to a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. But I want you to lead us through some biblical passages. I'm going to throw out a few descriptions and ask you to
Mhm.
give from today, and then I want us to go back and see that mankind hasn't changed a lot,
Yeah.
and start giving us some examples from the Bible. But let me give a few examples. Besides the fake poster where you're on vacation, the
Hmm.
fake smile, the fake, my private jet or whatever. There's also the fake eyelashes, the fake body parts,
Yeah.
fake the fake tan, the fake hair, the fake lips, the fake,
Um,
and it's what is going on. And I think for a lot of people, maybe there's some insecurity. And so they feel that they project enough of an image,
mhm.
other people think different, then they'll feel better about themselves. And in real
Yes.
life, it's not as easy in real life to project an image
Hmm.
as on social media.
Yes.
Like, okay, we played some basketball today. Could we stage it so that I'm like making a massive dunk?
Hmm.
Yeah, we could stage that and snap it. You've seen me play basketball. Is that what's really happening in real life?
No.
No, if at the Y if at the Y I went in there and I said in the middle of the game, hey, wait. So I'm bringing a stool. You stand. Is anybody going to put up with that?
No.
No,
No.
no.
Of course
It's
not.
like, get off the court.
Yeah.
Real life, you don't get quite as, it's harder to get away with being fake. But on social media,
Yeah.
people on the other side of the world, all they see is what you choose to post.
Yes. Correct.
Easier to pretend.
Yeah. And kind of what you're saying, but maybe another way of saying it, when you post on social media, you can make yourself look perfect.
Yes.
And
You can, use Photoshop. You can
yeah.
take out the wart. You
Uh-huh.
can take out the crow eyes. You
Hmm.
take out the crow's feet. You can take out the wrinkles. You can add
Hmm.
a little hair. Change. You can do whatever you want, and the person on the other side of the world doesn't know how fake it is.
Yes.
So has fakery been around for a long time? Did back in
Oh,
Bible times was there fakery?
oh, so much, so
Start taking.
much. So we were mentioning earlier, thinking about the idea of hypocrites is kind of the idea of you show what's not real. You act a certain way that's not really who you are. And you do that to gain approval. And so I think of a passage like Matthew 6,
Take
where
us
you
there.
have in Matthew 6, we're in the middle of Jesus as he's preaching the Sermon on the Mount. And he starts talking in chapter 6 about these different things to beware of certain people, these hypocrites who are doing certain things to be seen of men, to be honored by men, to gain approval. But what Jesus says, and we'll read here in a minute, is that we're not supposed to do it to be seen by men or to gain honor by men, but instead do it before the Lord so we can be blessed by him. And so the first one is in chapter 6, verse 1 and 2. Beware of practicing your righteousness before men to be noticed by them. Otherwise, you have no reward with your Father who is in heaven. So then, when you give to the poor, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do, in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be honored by men. Truly, I say to you, they have their reward in full. But when you give to the poor, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving will be in secret, and your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you.
Okay. So this is showing off. You're acting like, oh, this is because I love God so much. But it's really what?
So that you'll be seen by men, honored by
This
men.
how much I want you to think I love God. Oh, this isn't how much I want to help that poor guy.
Yeah.
This is how much I want you to see me
Yeah.
helping that poor guy.
Hmm.
All
Yeah.
right.
And it may not be today. We may not necessarily be doing this in synagogues or in churches, although some people are doing things to be seen by men in churches. But specifically today, social media, you see the guy who's posted a video of him, giving money to a homeless person or giving food or whatever, or doing some other good deed, and they're posting it not just because they want to do good things, or maybe they don't even want to do them, but so that people give them likes. And so
Yeah.
that's a big thing today.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of those likes bring money because they're getting
Hmm.
advertising.
Yeah,
And the more likes they get, the more advertising dollars they get in. But for a lot of people, they're not monetized. It's a little adrenaline rush. How many likes did I get? How many likes did I get?
yeah,
And if they post something that they hope was going to get a lot of likes and it doesn't, what do?
they feel terrible.
Yeah. And so then they gotta, and I
Keeps them
know
a bigger.
happen with girls and guys, but especially imagine a girl, she updates her photo.
Hmm.
She updates her photo, and if she gets just hundreds of comments, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so cute, oh, you are so lovely, you are so pretty, you are so like. She loves that. She's going to leave that up for a
Yeah.
while until she needs another boost because a
Hmm.
month later she's still not getting compliments on that picture. So she's got to do another. But if sometimes she doesn't, and she gets, oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Where's my validation? So then what she have to do? She's got to show a little more cleavage. She's got to pose a little more seductively. She's got to show a little bit more, show a different angle. And oh, there come the likes. And then she learns
Hmm.
the more I expose myself, the more likes I get. And what does that do to her?
Turns her into you know, in this just an object.
Yeah, yeah. Let's look at another passage. Look at on prayer. Oh, and also there in Matthew 6, it talks about the people who fasted and disfigured their face, to
Hmm.
everybody would see they were fasting. Look
Yeah.
at it's either Luke 19 or Luke 20 about how the Sadducees prayed. It's at the end of the chapter. Um, having trouble finding it. If you beat me to it, very end of the chapter.
It's in the 20, I think.
Yeah, I think you're
Walk
right.
around in
Yeah,
long robes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, beware the scribes who like to walk in long robes and love greeting places in the marketplace, the best seats in the synagogue, places of honor at the peace, who devour widows' houses, and oh, yeah, not Sadducees, but the scribes, pardon me, for a pretense,
Hmm.
long prayers.
Yes.
So maybe a guy's called to lead a prayer and he praises God and he gives thanks for our blessings. He prays for sister so and so who's about to have surgery and for the new converts. And that's kind of a short prayer. So then he waxes eloquent about something else and something else and something else and something
Hmm.
else. He throws some big words in there and some impressive language and something else and quotes several scriptures and something else. What does he think he's doing?
Impressing people.
Yeah. Is he necessarily impressing people?
No, and he's definitely not impressing God.
Right. And that's what's important.
Yeah.
That's the point of Matthew 6. The only reward you got was that people saw you because God didn't respect that at all.
Yeah.
Some more examples of being fake in the Bible.
Well, when I think of fake, I uh, I think really at the root of what fake is lying, is deception. And when I think about people who are deceptive in the Bible, I think about somebody like Ananias and Sapphira.
Take us there, Acts 5.
So, Ananias and Sapphira, they are two people in the early church who, when they, and I would be inclined to think that maybe they see this happening at the end of chapter 4. Here's Joseph, also called Barnabas, giving away lots of things. And then they decide, hey, let's give away some things too. So maybe they'll be impressive, or get a good pat on the back from the Holy Spirit or something.
Barnabas got a nickname out of here. He's like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's Joseph, who was also called Barnabas by the
Hmm.
apostles, which means son of encouragement. It sounds like he may have already had that nickname. Sold a field that belonged to him and brought the money, laid it at the apostles' feet.
Hmm.
So now what did Ananias and Sapphira do?
Well, they sell their piece of property in verse 1 of chapter 5, but they kept back some of the price for himself.
And then
Uh,
they went to the apostles and they said, this isn't the whole amount, but we want to give part of what. Is that what they did?
nope.
Oh, what did they do?
They claimed that it was everything.
Read the whole text to us, Joshua.
Yeah. Uh, Verse 1. But a man named Ananias, with his wife Sapphira, sold a piece of property and kept back some of the price for himself with his wife's full knowledge. And bringing a portion of it, he laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why has Satan filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit and to keep back some of the price of the land? While it remained unsold, did it not remain your own? And after it was sold, was it not under your control? Why is it that you have conceived this deed in your heart? You have lied not to men, but to God. And as he heard these words, Ananias fell down and breathed his last, and great fear came of all who heard of it. And so young men came and got him and covered him up and carried him out and buried him. And now there elapsed an interval of about 3 hours, and his wife came in, not knowing what had
Okay,
happened.
let's pause here and think about this. Ananias is dead and buried.
Yeah,
She doesn't know. She does not know she's a widow. She doesn't know her husband is dead. She doesn't know he's already buried. She's just waiting for him to get back. And maybe she wants to go shopping, you know, spend some of that money. Uh, so she knows he went to see Peter.
right.
So after 3 hours, what does she do?
She goes in, goes and
Yeah,
checks it
yeah,
out.
yeah. Uh, and Peter said to her, Tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And what does she say?
Yes, that's the price.
Peter said to her, how is it that you have agreed together to test the Spirit of the Lord? Now, this is where she finds out she's a widow. Behold, the feet of those who buried your husband. That's when she finds out she's a widow, are at the door, and they will carry you out. Immediately, she fell down at his feet and breathed her last. So she didn't get to mourn very much.
No,
Your husband's dead, and now you're going to die. And she does. Now, what did this result in? Verse 11.
great fear.
God's not playing around. He means
No,
business. Now, a lot of people today might think, oh, if we take a firm stand against sin, why people won't like that.
you'll be judgy.
Against sin because but you know what? The church actually grew. It says in verse 14, even more than ever, believers were added to the Lord, multitudes both of men and women. People that value right are not going to be offended when right is stood for.
Yeah,
But why on earth would Ananias and Sapphira do this? They're Jews, they're part of the elect, the chosen people. They've recognized the Messiah has come, they've been baptized into Christ, and they're in fellowship with the apostles and the other brethren. They've prospered enough that they've got this field. And what was it Peter said? While it remained, was it not your own? You know, you could have
yeah,
decided what to do with it, but they
yeah.
decided to do this. And now they both die in sin. Why would they do that?
I think they wanted glory out of it.
Yeah.
They wanted it to
Looked in the
seem like it
mirror.
was more than it was.
When they looked in the mirror, they knew that they weren't that generous. They knew that they weren't so devoted to the poor that they would give it all. Why would they want to portray one thing when they knew not the reality?
Because it got them praise, a pat on the back. Maybe someone would have given them something for it. Uh, it would have made them look good and it would have made them feel good, even though they knew it was a lie. All that praise, pat on the back, that stuff makes you feel good.
That's so pathetic, though, to take it when you know it's not true.
You know, some
Yeah,
people don't care, but oh, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead. No, you're on to
It's-
something important. What is it?
Some people don't care about the truth. They just care about what they can get out of it.
What does that tell you about the person's character?
It's not as good as they claim it is.
What's the depth or shallowness of a person who doesn't care who they actually are, but they only care about what it looks like they are?
Very shallow.
That is shallow. That's really shallow. So here's something else that I want to. This is just about bragging, because sometimes I really am on that vacation, and you
Hmm.
picture. Sometimes you really did get that raise. Sometimes you're out on a date with your wife, whatever, and you're having dinner. It's your anniversary or something, and you post a picture, and you really are in love with each other and stuff. But then there's bragging, and social media has made it acceptable to brag.
Hmm.
Because before the internet, if you're standing with a group of people and I don't have a six pack, I have a nice big uni ab.
Right,
So,
right, right.
and but imagine if I just walk up to a group of people and I say, "Hey, I want to show you a picture of my abs with my shirt off."
Hmm.
How would that have come across before the internet?
That's weird. Why don't you just show me your real apps?
Or Why TMI?
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. Of
like,
course.
why are you showing us this? Or if I say, I want to show you how impressive I look in this position. You, used to people would have like given you the side eye and like, dude, you know, why are you bragging like that? Why are you both? Who do you think cares? But with the internet, it's become natural to brag.
Hmm.
And there's a
Yeah.
difference between accomplishing something, maybe a goal or something. If I have a friend of mine and he's desperately needed to lose weight and he's lost 60 or 70 pounds, I'm happy for him. If I have a friend of mine and he wanted to, complete a marathon and he made it, he didn't win the marathon, but he went all those miles and crossed the line, you know, at a good time for him. I'm happy for him. I want to rejoice with those that rejoice. But there's a
Yeah.
difference between that and just bragging. What's the
Hmm.
difference?
Bragging is like when you want to show off. Look how
Yeah,
great I am. Look how, awesome I am.
yeah. What other Bible texts can you think of that reflect on this whole subject?
When I think about kind of going along with the idea of lying, God is the God of truth, and Satan's the father of lying. And recently we've been looking at the Gospel of John, and in John chapter 8, Jesus confronts the some people in the crowd who were claiming that they were Abraham's descendants. Our father's Abraham, and Jesus says, "No, I know your literal father, yeah, is Abraham, but you act like somebody else, and who you act like is the father of lies." And I just think, it's so easy for us to we want uh, we want glory, we want praise, and all these things that are just very temptatious for us, and that's just that's the devil.
Look how opposite Paul's words are from Joseph Kennedy's. What did Joseph Kennedy say? It doesn't matter who you are. It only matters who people think you are. Compare that to 1 Corinthians 4, verse 1. So I'll give everybody a chance to turn there. 1 Corinthians 4, verse 1. Remember that some of the Corinthians saying, I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollos. And some of the Corinthians are, oh, Paul's not a very good speaker. Well, Apollos is eloquent and all these different things. And some of them are criticized. Some of them are showing too much allegiance to Paul. Some of them are too critical of Paul. Some of them are rising up and following their current leaders and acting like they didn't need Paul and Apollos or others at all. But this is what Paul says in 1 Corinthians 4, verse 1. This is how one should regard us as servants of Christ
Yes.
and stewards of the mystery of God. Moreover, it's required of stewards that they be found faithful. But with me, it's a very small thing that I should be judged by you or by any human court. In fact, I do not even judge myself. I am not aware of anything against myself, but I am not thereby acquitted. It is the Lord who judges me. Paul was more interested in what how the Lord viewed him.
Yeah.
Corinthians viewed him. Let's go back to that word hypocrite too. What does the word hypocrite come from? It's
Yeah.
related to Greek theater. Do you remember the
Yes. Say
involved?
what?
You remember the item involved from Greek theater that's connected to hypocrite?
Yeah, it's the mask.
Yeah. So in Greek theater, if I'm playing the role of, whatever, this villain, then I put on that villain mask and people don't see this face, they see that villain. Or if I'm a young man, I put on this young man mask. People don't see this old man face, they see this young man mask, or whoever it is I'm portraying, and so I've got on the mask for the play. That's not who I am.
Right.
It's who I'm pretending to be,
Yes.
and that's connected to the word hypocrite, pretending.
Hmm. Yeah. And Jesus rebuked the people who were hypocrites, like the Pharisees. And is it Matthew 23, at the chapter?
Yeah,
And I love what he says when he says, "You are like whitewashed tombs who appear beautiful, but inside are full of dead man's bones." That's uh, Matthew 23. What verse is
late
that?
Matthew 23, and it's down around maybe verse 30 or so.
Yeah, verse 29. I think it is. Wait, no, 27. Verse 27. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like whitewashed tombs, which on the outside appear beautiful, but inside are full of dead men's bones and all uncleanness. They look good on the outside, but really what's happened is they've just, beautied their lives up. They made themselves look spiritual, look godly. We know the law, but on the inside, they're not what God wants them to be.
Yeah. And Peter talks about having a unpretended love of the brethren. Uh, and so we need to be authentic people. We
Yeah,
don't have to publicize everything about ourselves. If we get the flu and throw up, nobody wants to see a picture of that
right.
on social media. But there's a difference between that and doing a pretense
Yeah,
and just pretending and searching for those likes. That in and of itself is fake. Because
yes,
if that person were actually as successful in life as they're pretending they are, they probably wouldn't be needing to look
yes,
for many likes.
yeah, yes. And connected with this idea of being fake on social media, there are a lot of people that are fake even in real life.
Yeah.
And it's not just a danger for other people, it's a danger for us. And there are times where I feel tempted at times to, oh, I should make a post so that other people will see it. And that's not the right attitude. Um, and it's a real danger for a lot of people.
One time, a woman, I had not met her. Her husband was a preacher, and she came by where I was with a sympathy basket. I don't remember if it had flowers or what, but it's just something picked up as a sympathy gift. And as she hands it to me, she said, "Oh, I forgot to take off the price tag." And her son, who was, I don't know, maybe 12 years old or so, he said, or I said, "Oh, I didn't know the price tag was still on." He said, "Yes, you did. You told me not to take it off."
Wow.
And you remember what does God say in Malachi? If just stop, just
Yes.
stop.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a real temptation. It's it, it's not just social media, but
Right.
it's real life too. And it's not just everybody else, it's us.
So give us three practical ways. You start with one. If you don't think of a second right away, I'll
Yeah.
take the second one. Let's give three practical ways to help resist
Hmm.
fake. What would you say is at
Ooh.
the top of your list?
Number one, maybe the best way to not be fake. It's just sometimes the best thing to do is just don't post. I think of the principle that Jesus talks about in Matthew 6. Don't go and do it to be seen of men. Go do it in secret. You want to help somebody, go do it in secret. You want to go achieve something secret and do it. And when we do it in secret, it's a lot less likely I'm going to be fake about it.
There you go. There you go. Because nobody but God is seeing it.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's really, really good. And Proverbs says, let another person's lips praise you and not your own.
Yes.
And maybe here's a third one. Let's close out with this one. Let's go to the Gospel of Luke. Luke chapter 14. I'm having trouble with my pages today. But we can edit that out, so I'll look at it. Verse 7, and we'll close out with this. Now he told a parable to those who were
Mhm.
invited. When you notice how they chose the places of honor. You ever see kids like running to get shotgun? It's like,
Yes.
I get shotgun, I get shotgun, I get shotgun. I used to do homeschool PE and a lot of things with some little boys. And if some boys were, I got shotgun, I'd say, that boy over there, the one not yelling for it, he gets it. Or we're playing kickball. Who wants to be pitcher? I want to be a pitcher. And the little boy not begging to be pitcher, he gets the pitch. I was trying to, and then I would say, you know, the last will be first, the first will be last. He that exalts himself will be humbled. So here they are, and they're running to get that chief seat. So
Yep.
that other people see them in the seat of honor that they gave themselves. He said in verse 8, when you're invited by someone to a wedding feast, don't sit down in a place of honor, lest what happen?
Uh, someone more distinguished than you be invited.
And he who invited you both will come and say, give your place to this person.
I have written down embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. Awkward. When you're invited, go sit in the low place. Go sit in the lowest place. So that when your host comes, he may say to you, friend, move up higher. Then you'll be honored in the presence of all who sit at the table with you. Everyone who exalts himself will be humbled. He who
Hmm.
humbles himself will be exalted. You're not always going to be moved to the upper seat. That's fine. Let somebody else sit there occasionally.
Right.
And if you're occasionally honored, accept it graciously and thankfully, and don't let it be like, this is all about me. No, it's
Right.
not. The wedding is about the people getting married. But if they want you in a seat of honor, accept that and appreciate it. Just take it for what it is.
Yes.
Don't, don't be a jerk.
Yes.
Any final thought?
I don't think so.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you tuning in to this edition of Bible Quest. And let's watch out for being fake.